Hi folks, welcome back to the channel. Well, it's that time of the year. We're thinking about Christmas ornaments, and we're going to be doing a snowman holding a teddy bear, and he's going to have a Santa hat on. And the pattern for this will be in the description below. So make sure you click onto that and print it off to where you can have a great looking pattern and for you to carve a great looking snowman. So let's grab our tools and let's make a snowman today for Christmas time. So this pattern is 5 1/8 inches long, and he's 3.5 wide at the bottom, and it's a 1/2 inch thick piece of wood. And this is basswood, and that's all I carve from is pretty much basswood and sometimes sassafras, but majority 99.9% of the time I do basswood. All right, so you'll see here that we have got it drew on there. Like I said, the pattern for this will be in the description and the link below. That way you can print it off and give this guy a try. All right. So take your V tool and you're going to outline everything, which I've done that already off camera. And except the only thing I did not do was the teddy bear. And that there will probably take a little time to get him brought out from his arms there. And so we're going to get started here on this little project. So you're going to take your V tool here, and we're going to start separating this little teddy bear. And you don't have to pay teddy bear. You can just don't even carve him in there if you want to. Have him hold something else. Whatever your imagination will come up with. And I'm sure it'll be just fine. But all we're doing here is just outlining. And with our V tool, and take your time through here. And just, because the reason why we're outlining is we're going to take our knife and we're going to come right through here and make stop cuts on all these. Okay, don't worry about the facial expression. You're going to paint those on with your favorite colors that you love to use during that on Christmas stuff. All right. So we're going to make a stop cut here to where the midsection would be of the snowman, where you have 1, 2, and 3 sections of the snowman. And we're going to take our knife now. I know it's hard to see in the camera, but I'm outlining just with the knife the teddy bear that we just took our V tool. The reason why I use a V tool there is that way it gives my knife something to follow, a valley to follow, and less likely to jump out and for the grain to break away on us. And again, do things in small intricates there, and just take your time, because we're going to have to set the ears back on this little teddy bear and round him off. All right. Okay. Now, before I get going too far, to create the nose here, this is what they call little buttons that you put when you're building a table or whatever. And these are button plugs to cover up the screw or nail or whatever. So you can get these at your local hardware store. And I paint them on. I paint them first, and then I just take a little dot of super glue and put it right on there. And you can get different sizes for whatever you like. So it's kind of nice little addition. All right, so let's get started here carving. And we're going to get the hat shaped here. We're going to start moving the wood around a little bit to create a snowman. And again, when you are holding something this small, and the thickness too, you always remember that your hand is on the other side of your cuts that you're making. So always be aware where your fingers are, and that way you'll have a safe day of carving and not have to go to the emergency room and have stitches put in. So make sure your glove fits you good, and again, just watch where the blades are going and that tools are going. Putting the head behind the scarf, using that technique there with a knife. Okay, going to undercut here to make this scarf stand up on this snowman. And all we're doing is relief carving, really, in a way, by taking away the wood around the arms. And this is a number 3 semi-flat gouge. I'm coming in and deepening these areas here. The reason why we've got a scarf, we've got to put a knot here after a while. There's a couple of little knots that we're going to create. So a little bit to this project, but boy, he'll be a neat little ornament for your tree, for your family heirlooms to pass down if you'd like. And so enjoy. All right, let's come around, start relieving the teddy bear out from him. That way we can start shaping him. Taking his belly in, putting it in the waist area right there, and making that all come together there. Again, you can take this and make him, when you get the pattern, take him making bigger or even small and create a little ornament or whatever. Or you could reduce it down and carve individual name tags for your gifts this year. What a neat idea, One of a kind. Nothing like a handmade gift for people, because you're putting a little bit of yourself into each project that you carve. Come down below the arm here and make sure that our stop cut is in there good. And we're going to put a stop cut there along the scarf. Setting that arm underneath the scarf. Make it look like it's coming around and the scarf is laying on the arm. And so, again, you don't have to carve him just like I'm doing it. Come up with your own painting schemes on here to create a neat little snowman. Use whatever colors are popular today and make him part of your collection. Make sure that you give the illusion that the head is going right on around the body here, okay? And carve the sides too. Good cutting wood. Good cutting wood. All right, now we're going to make a stop cut on the scarf there toward the knot. And we're going to come down here and we're going to split where the two scarves come together and to create depth there and shadows. Let's start rounding the knot. Because this one here, see, I went around with the knot there. So we're going to continue to make the knot look like it's going right around the snowman to give that illusion. Taking our knife, downsizing our scarves. Now these two knots are going to be kind of together, so round them the best that you can. Or if you don't want to put two knots, just put one knot there and call it good. But we always like to try to add some things to our carving, something different, a little more than what we normally do. Going back to our number 3 gouge here and rounding the belly off more, or the center part of his body. And you can make this as deep or shallow in here as you want. But again, make sure wherever it's shallow or whether it's deep, make sure that your cuts are very rounded. Okay? Follow through. And again, we're going to get rid of any flat surfaces too. Even though this is a flat piece of wood, we're going to give it the illusion that it's 3D or a caricature type, full, complete body. Now I'm going to set this scarf behind the knot here, because the knot is going to be the focal point there on the neck area. And I need just a little bit longer bladed knife there, so we're going to come in and where I can get some more real estate removed here. Remember, start rounding that scarf, tucking it in, getting close to the body. Carve this all you want. Carve as deep as you want. Okay. All right, let's kind of work our way around the little teddy bear here. Be careful. You know, these are little features, little arms. We don't want to break them off. So make sure your stop cuts are good in here. Using the tip of your knife only. And start rounding this little fella out. And you're going to give it the illusion that the legs, of course, are not part of this, of the teddy bear. They're hidden behind his arm. Okay, so let me stop there and show you in the camera there a little bit where we're at so far. He's coming together. All right, let's start rounding this snowman here. And we're going to come in and remove our waste here off the bottom. Now too, if you want one to stand up, you could put a little piece of wood back here in the back and glue it on to where you can stand up and be part of maybe a table decoration or maybe your nightstand or whatever. But if you want him to stand up, well, just put a little piece of wood there. And that way he can stand up on the table by himself instead of hanging from the tree. Make sure you get your edges good. And 2, get the cross grain, the end grain cut to get that all cleaned up because you're going to be painting that as well, the end grain. And, put little dents like this in here, because he's not perfect, just helps breaks the snowman up and gives it more depth and more character. Let's work on the tassel a little bit, kind of take a break from that there and come back to it. Okay, so now we're going to take our number 3 gouge and come right through here and get rid of that high ridge that we created with our knife. Tone that down a little bit. Work on the top of the hat some. Let's get the end grain out of our way. Let's work on the trim of the hat. And start shaping it to where it looks like it's going behind the tassel here. And give that illusion. So carve this back in there kind of fairly deep to where it looked like it's going back around his head. See, that's looking pretty neat already. All right, working on the tassel, or the ball, excuse me. And getting that rounded as best as you can. And 2, later on, you could take a 3mm gouge and create the little fur if you want, or you can just leave the tool marks as part of it there if you want. All right, let's take our V-tool, kind of clean up underneath here a little bit, underneath the hat. Remember to take short strokes through here, 3 small cuts if you can, are better than 1 large one. right, now we're going to continue to shape this head. And when you're gluing, now if you want to, you could, make a little, just carve you a little knob there to represent the nose if you wanted to. But I was getting ready to say, if you do put this little furniture button to represent the nose, just use a very minimum of the super glue, because super glue and paint just don't go together. So make sure it doesn't spill out on the edges when you put pressure to it, all right? Been there, done that. Keep you from having to carve that all off. But that's how we learn, by doing, and that's how we hopefully get better, by learning from our mistakes and things that we do. As I say, our happy little accidents, things happen like that once in a while. All right, I'm putting some little bit of wrinkles to his hat here, and give the hat a little action there. Give it some little divots there, as you can see. All right, let's round this face off more. All right, let's continue to work on the knot here. This guy, he's coming together. And again, take the pattern that's in the description and the link below and change it up to your own pattern. Maybe, like I said, put something else in his arm, or put just one knot, or change it up. You don't have to carve it like I do, paint it like I do. We're not in competition. We're here to help. Love to see your work. Dropping this elbow back a little bit where it's not standing out there, and make it look like it's going around the body. Okay? Just remind you of that. And let's start rounding this arm here. And kind of come this way to get the best cut we can. Okay, watch what you're doing then. Now, if you want to make this scarf kind of look like it's in the wind, why take out from underneath here to where it's not really touching. If you want to, give the illusion that it's kind of out there hanging by itself. See there? All right. Now, on the colors that I use, as you see here, that is navy blue, whatever white you like to come up with. Like there's colors called snow white and other things, but nutmeg for the teddy bear, and a little dot of paint for the eyes, And put a little highlight in the eye there. I don't know if you can see there, but you can see a little bit of white there in their eyes. And make that teddy bear smile that he's happy to be with his buddy, the snowman. It'd be great for a kid's room to decorate their rooms for the holidays or even just wintertime, you know. Snowman is not always, you know, for Christmas. It's wintertime also. So, and again, keep rounding your edges. Just like I say whenever we're carving a person, there's no sharp edges on the human face or features on the body like that. So, all right, now let's focus in on the teddy bear a little bit here. And we're going to create a little separation here for the neck and where his head and all this comes together. And I'm going to put a cut right there and right there. And we're going to set the ears back a little bit. And I'm taking this, rounding off the head a little bit there, and easy does it. This is where you could break off things. But again, if it does, you got enough wood there to come in and carve you another one there. Because this is a 1/2 inch thick, so piece of wood. And, you know, to just round off the ears a little bit where it looks like it's fitting on top of that little head of his that he has. Round it, round and round and round we go, keeping everything rounded. Because a teddy bear is soft, don't have ridges on him. Come in here and create a little bit of the arms. It's okay. Alrighty, I shall. So we're just making our way around. And oh boy, he's coming to life here. And if you want to make a small indentation to show the inner part of the ear, there you go. Look at there, looky there. Just a little bit. And that create a shadow there. Okay. And well, you can make this teddy bear stand out the more by taking away. If you want him to stand out more, why take away from the arms of the snowman and create that depth there. Round that head. But again, like I said, you don't have to use the type of paints that I use, the colors of him, you know. Whatever you'd like to come up with is fine with me. It should be fine with you. All right. rounding things off. Yes, it takes time to round these things, but oh man, is it worth it? Because you'll see a big difference when you don't leave things so flat and with edges. Now I'm just going to take off the edges of his little face to complete roundness, give him a round looking face, a jolly looking face. Because teddy bears are to be jolly looking and pleasant looking. And we just come in and just shave off and create more roundness to his face. There's a flat spot here on his arm right there. All right. Well, we can continue rounding this guy, but I think you all get the idea. You just keep going round and round and round with this guy and create some shadows here and there. And then now we got to put in the knot. So let's do that. And then creating around this like a ball. Here, create that there. And so to create a knot, I start here and I kind of make it just like an X. And to the same thing here on this one here, we really probably need to separate that there because that knot there doesn't go all the way around. So we'll take our knife, make a stop cut there, and remove that there. There we go. That looks more natural. Flows better too. And then we're going to come in, put the knot there. And again, knots are not going to be perfect because it's clothing and it's going to twist and turn and all that there. And then you come in and put some lines through here to represent, break up the edges of his scarf. with your V tool. Just enough to show action there. Okay. And as you wind this down, you're going to stop and look at him, and you're going to see things you're going to need to tweak here and there. But at the end of the day, why, figure out where you're going to put your eyes. And then his little nose. And again, if you want to put a carrot nose that's sticking straight out, why do so. Or put you a little button there. See if we can put this on here and show you. And let's see, let's put a little smile there. Looky there. Happy day. Happy day. Looky there. He's a happy feller. So anyway, you can come up with your own pattern with this guy, and remember, just come in and round everything with your knife and a V-tool in a little flat gouge. So hopefully this will be a great project for you. Well, folks, thank you for joining us today. I hope that you've enjoyed carving this little snowman with us today for an ornament. He'll be in the description, the link below. And so we look forward to hearing from you. Happy carving.